Alright, we're live.
Live, alright, shalom. I'm going to say Kahala Yahawa, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Kakadash.
Wrong door.
Double honors to the apostles, okay, and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the elect, pushing this word in truth necessarily across the four corners of the earth. We're the Hebrew Israelites, okay, not the black Hebrew Israelites, but the Hebrew Israelites. Alright, because there isn't color, it's not about color when we talk about nationality. It's about the spirit. Okay, as you can see, we're here in the belly of the beast, okay, doing this work.
Okay, this is Job chapter 36, verse 5. It says, "Behold, the Most High is mighty, and despiseth not any. He is mighty in strength and wisdom. He preserveth not the life of the wicked."
That's right. He preserves not the life of the wicked. So even though the wicked are prolonged right now, He's not going to preserve their life. You know why? Because they're wicked and they're going against the Most High. Right? They do everything in their nature is to be against the Most High. So the Most High is not going to preserve them. Just like in this society, right? When you go against Esau, does he preserve you? No. He destroys you. You know, a good example of that is the cops. You don't even have to be breaking the law. But if you can answer that cop in a way that he doesn't like, he can easily pull out a gun and blow you away, man. So the same thing is the same thing on the right hand side with the Most High and the wicked.
It says, "But giveth right to the poor."
But giveth right to the poor. The poor in this kingdom is Israel, man. All right, so you Negroes, Latinos, and North Americans, and etc. Okay, you're the poor in this kingdom. While every other nation is flourishing in their business and in their money, we're the ones that are on the bottom. We're the tail, while everybody else is the head. According to the curses pursuing Deuteronomy 28.
Verse 7. "He withdraweth not his eyes from the righteous, but with kings are they on the throne. Yea, he doth establish them forever, and they are exalted."
Yo, so how do we know that the Most High, okay, hasn't withdrawn his eyes from the poor, from us? By this truth. The Most High really did away with Israel, okay, and this truth is for everybody on the planet and not just for Israel anymore. It wouldn't be just Israel who had the truth. Because right now, through the apostles, all right, and their teachers, that's when the truth was brought forth. And that was the Most High, because through the love for the elect, the Most High has shown his love for all of Israel. Beginning with Yahawashi.
Verse 8. "And if they be bound in fetters and be holden in cords of affliction, then he sheweth them their work and their transgressions that they have exceeded. He openeth also their ear to discipline, and commandeth that they return from iniquity."
That's right, and that's what's happening right now. That's why we're out here. The Most High is trying to open up the ears, really, he's trying to open up the ears of the elect. Because it's only going to be the elect that are going to get this truth. That's why Yahawashi said that my sheep hear my voice. The majority of Israel is going to scoff and hate and hiss at this truth, but the elect are still out there. And as soon as the elect are sealed, that's when these prophecies are going to start happening rampantly, one after another.
Verse 11. If they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity."
Yo, so go to get Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Yeah. Because if we're to follow the Most High and keep His commandments, the Most High said we'll live in prosperity. That's a very simple answer as to why we're living the way we are as a nation right now.
So you want to get 2015?
One, yes.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahawashi thy power,
That's right.
to observe and to do all his commandments,
That's right.
which I command thee this day,
Yeah.
that Yahawashi thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth."
Will set thee on high above all nations on the earth. So one, that expels that nonsense that the church preaches that the Most High loves everybody. Because now he's showing favoritism to a certain nation. So back then with Moses Moses had laws that were given to him from the Most High down to Israel to follow, so that we can prosper in this on this earth. And he said if we're to diligently keep these commandments, so that means keeping these commandments to the best of our abilities, in truth and sincerity, that we're to prosper on the planet. And you got demons going on. I'm pretty sure they killed Zagate. So that's the state of our people, man.
Yeah.
It's the state of our people. You think that Gadot would be in that situation if he was following the laws? So that's an example right there.
Huh?
You know, that's the opposite of prosperity, man. That's despair. That's despair.
So I'll go back to Job 36. Job 36, and I'll start at verse 11 again. If they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity,
That's right.
and their years in pleasures.
Yeah, that's right.
But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge.
Yo, that's heavy, man. That's heavy.
Get the knowledge.
Exactly. And that's why we're in the state we are in, man. You're in the ghettos. You're getting blown away by the cops. The majority, when you look into the jail cells, okay, in America, the majority of the jail cells are filled up with Jake and Ephraim. You know?
Yeah.
So that's an example of that, man.
Step on that.
Verse 13. But the hypocrites in heart heap up wrath. They cry not when he bindeth them. And that's 2/3 of our people, you know, when they get in trouble, or some shit goes wrong, they're not really praying to God at the end of the day. They're trying to call their bill collector to work out a deal, somehow negotiate a plan on how to make their own plan to get out of their situation. They're never really asking or believe the Most High will actually get them out of a situation.
Yeah, they chase after carnal means to help them out.
Yeah.
As a safe heat, rather than going to the Most High.
Verse 14. They die in youth, and their life is among the unclean.
Yo, we were just talking about that earlier, that like when you get profiled, you know, people immediately profile you as a drug dealer.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? We were just saying that earlier. You know, and that's just because of because the majority of our people are dealing with drugs. You know, so the nations are gonna paint us, those of us that are sincerely keeping the laws with the same brush. But we're looked upon as being unclean, right? In this society, man, when really it's supposed to be Esau, that's the scum of the earth.
Which he really is.
Because
he's the one bringing in the drugs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's right.
Creating them and everything.
That's right, putting them in the ghettos. You know, putting McDonald's and gun stores and liquor stores in every corner, every block where Jake resides. Right? Exactly. Esau's the one that's into that vile shit, but our people, because they have turned away from their shepherd, which is Yahawashi, have followed the other nations now, and now they do all the vile things that the other nations do, and the other nations are glad for it, man. Especially Esau.
All this is going to go into everything you just said. Verse 15. He delivereth the poor in his affliction, and open up their ears in oppression. Even so would he have removed thee out of the strait into a broad place where there is no straightness.
See, that's deep, because he said he delivers.
He delivereth the poor in his affliction, and open up their ears in oppression.
So yo, that's how stubborn Jake is. That their ears, that you'll listen when you're going through it.
Yeah.
Yo, you think you'll open up your ears in oppression. But when Jake's doing nice, they don't want to hear shit. But when they're doing bad, that's when they want to be humble and listen to the truth.
It's true. Like when you see a man with a lot of money, he's all praising himself, saying, I did it, I did this.
That's
but
right.
as soon as he loses everything, what's the first thing Jake does?
Yeah.
He prays to God, all of a sudden, you know, help me, please.
Going to church every Sunday now and all that nonsense.
Change his ways, you know.
Which is dishonest, man. You think you're fooling the Most High, but you're really just fooling yourself.
That's right.
And that's why you're living in a perpetual circle of dreamland, man. Because you're only fooling yourself. The Most High knows what you're doing, man.
It says, Verse 16, even so would he have removed thee out of the strait into a broad place where there is no straightness, and that which should be set on thy table should be full of fatness.
Yo, that's the kingdom. Right now, we're in the straight. We're in that straight gate. And everything is difficult. If you want to do good in this society as an Israelite, it's difficult, man. It's hard. It's even hard. It's hard enough to prosper in this carnal society. It's even harder to prosper, to try to make a living in this carnal society and try to stay righteous to the best of your abilities, man.
Verse 17.